Yeah. Yes, everybody. I'm sorry. I know this is proper late. Oh, this is bad for me. What time is it? 53. I'm sorry, everyone. Yes, Rob. Yes, Tommy G. Yes, up the fucking Reds. Can you believe we won that? Oh, I've been kidding myself since we got to the final. I was saying, when we beat Chelsea, what score was it? 4-1. 9 bells, lad. Listen, it's not that late. Shaq, who's asked anyway? Yes, a record. 23 minutes. But no, I changed the time till 1:45, so it's not 23 minutes. Look at how sharp that is, guys. Oh, look at how sharp that cut is. You know what I mean? And JJ got his first trim today. Oh, mate, it was the fucking Betty Swallocks. I can see I'm reading that out. I was going to say, yes, Betty Swallocks, but I know it's that fucking Betty Swallocks is one of the oldest ones of them names. Yes, Josh. Yes, lad. Up the fucking Reds. Sunderland and Liverpool. Oh, fucking hate you with anything but Kyle, but like Chelsea. Oh, mate, honestly, I can't believe that. So I have just put it in my head, but I'm one of the most negative and miserable, pessimistic people ever. So I have had it in my head since we beat them 4-1. I thought they're such a bad side, they're such a shit team. I was thinking these are going to beat us, and then look how close they let them run it. Why are we such shit? The Beds in final, mate. Gary Neville. So I'd not heard that live because I was watching it with my dad. So I must have just been like chatting to my dad or whatever. And then I've put it back on in the background here. But one of the reasons why I was so late is because I've been on the couch watching that. Why does that thumb up thing come up now? What is that? Can you see that as well? Or do I just see that? Because no one's ever answered me if you can see that. No way, Rob, actually. We will not fuck the Mac. Do you know what, Rob? Yeah, get this, yeah. I used to like Newcastle and I used to like, this is the first topic we've just got off. I used to like Sunderland and Newcastle both together. I used to think you were both the boys, both dead sound people. I would go out and I'd stay over if we played Newcastle. I'd stay over if we played Sunderland. Every year, no matter what, away. Well, not every year, but most years I would stay over in Sunderland, stay over in Newcastle. And then what happened? You've got all this money. You just all turned into little knobheads. What's going on? Why did you all have to that? You're the most unsound fan base in the world now. Have you gone from like right to the top to right at the bottom? I don't get it. You're literally James, mate. Yes, James. James is in. Terry's in. Yes. Oh, everybody's in. How sick is this camera, mate? Why have I could have had this from the start. If I'd have just looked at one, lad, Twitter isn't a representation of our fan base. Yeah, that's very true, actually. I feel like we live in this little Twitter vacuum. Can you believe? I think it's like 13% of the. Oh, I've seen this. I heard it on. Do you know what? Right. So when I'm in my car, I'm always listening to tunes. It's always tunes on my phone or podcast on my phone. Never ever since things existed that meant you could connect your phone to your car as the radio been playing in my car. Sometimes if like my phone breaks, yes, Paddy. Sometimes if my phone breaks or something, yeah, or whatever happens, then I'll end up on my listening to the radio, but it would be tunes. But I've just put it to that LBC. I'm learning things, but they also talk a lot of mad nonsense on that. Some of it, so I get the whole point is supposed to be you have people from both sides, but some of the fucking hosts on that are the worst. And do you know what the worst part about it is? But both sides do it. It's like a bit of a setup because the like ones with the proper stupid opinions and who like love the Queen and love the King and all them, they're all them idiots, and like the ones that love Brexit and shit like that, they get idiots on their show to ring in. They let idiots ring in, so then their show looks like it's like more convincing. But then the other ones do it. That James O'Brien, I think he's pretty sound, even though for some reason he hates Corbyn. I don't really get that part about him. But yeah, I think he's sound. I think he's funny on that. But he gets the worst people ever to ring in, so it makes him look well better than he is. It's pretty sick, but like makes him look well better than he is because he just ends up arguing, terrorizing fucking morons. Go to do some serious meal deal tomorrow. What do you mean? Twitter's a very good representation of their fan base, always being the same. Rest of the country just sees it now. Is that what? See, this is Sunderland versus New. Get each other. I think it is. I agree with Josh. I think Rob. Do you know what, Rob? I think it is a big representation of your fan base because I don't know. We love the Saudis. Oh, bro, I'd love the Saudis. Do you think I judge Newcastle fans on liking the Saudis? I'd love to sign the Saudis to buy us tomorrow, mate. I don't give a fuck about the Saudis and all the shit they've done. Do you know what? Is it you deeved? Terry, I always thought you was a Scouser. You deeved. There's never been a Scouser on planet Earth who said you deeved. Asda. Is Terry a Scouser? I'll be the roughest man that's ever. I'm gonna be finger around the bend there. Called you. Called me. What do you mean? Called me. My phone's on Do Not Disturb. It always is. Where did Middlesbrough come into this? I've only ever been out in Middlesbrough once. Have I been out in Middlesbrough once? Yeah, I've been out in Middlesbrough once for a mate's birthday in 2000 and... When do you leave school? When do you leave college? Oh no, but I left college. When do you leave college? When do most people leave college? I left college at fucking 20, mate, because I dragged the fucking life out of it. You're not reading it right. Do discuss words on. Oh, right, sorry, am I reading it wrong? Do you know what, right? So, truth, hand on heart. Yeah, obviously, but I wasn't until that went in, because of how that went in, I was. But 42. But it was nice to watch it with my dad. I've not watched a final with my dad since the Gerrard final at Wembley. Not Wembley, sorry, Cardiff. I've not watched a final with him since then. No, I've definitely not. Not once. It was nice. It was nice to watch the game with him, but I forgot how nervous he is when he watches football. Yes, Luke. I forget how nervous he is when he watches football, and he just pushes the nervousness on me as well. It makes me nervous, and you don't enjoy watching the game because I'm that nervous. Oh, mate, it was torture, that, you know. I feel like when you're there, maybe because I was going to say when you're there, I don't feel like that, but obviously when there's probably not been a cup final since I was 18 where I've ever been sober. Why would I ever be sober at a cup final? But yeah, the nerves when you watch it at home on TV, mate, are fucking horrendous. My fucking dad, and if anyone fucking knows about my dad, mate, he went for a walk when Van Dijk scored. He went for a walk. He said, "I'm going for a walk." I obviously thought he was messing, and about 3 minutes after the game finished, I was like celebrating in the front room. He comes back in the door with a body, and he had a body warmer on, so he'd genuinely been for a walk. I couldn't believe it. Oh, I could not believe it. Josh loved the Ude. They say it an Ude. This is a fucking jumper. This a sick jumper as well. Bought this in at Roskilde, Copenhagen. Used to like doing different festivals abroad, yeah. And one year decided I would always pick the festival and then get all the boys to jump on it, right? And then I'm a good pick. Ask anyone who's been the people who jump on these holidays. They were good holidays. I picked good festivals, and then one year I struck out, and I said I couldn't be asking to Zegets again. I decided I was going to have a little break off Zegets because I'd been 2 years in a row. Even though I loved it, it's the best festival. I still think it's the best festival ever, even though it was a bit dog shit last year. When did I go last year? Fucking hell, it's 2024. Fucking hell, 2 years ago I went. Can we discuss why people now refer to positions in numbers? I get DM as a 6 foot. You know what, right? No, I say 6, and I sometimes cringe as well because it's a DM, but then I say 6 as well. I don't know. And it's weird because how many actual people who play as a DM play as a 6? You go out and spend all this money on a 6, and they go and take number like 38 or something. Like, what was Thingy wasn't a 6, was he, Fabinho? I feel like no. I feel like what 6 has got the 6? Do you know what? I didn't even know Enzo was a 6. How mad's that? What numbers he took, Enzo? What number's Enzo? I didn't know Enzo was a 6. What number is he? I feel fucking grim. What number's Enzo? Do you know what? How sad's this? Yeah. So, and my mum heard it today, and I think I've been hearing it. I don't think, I can't even lie and say I think it's it was nursery. I don't think it was nursery. I think it was me taking him swimming on Saturday. JJ, yes, 56 people watching. It's not usually tops at about 40 of these, for the live bit. Max viewers, free, isn't it? Endo's are free. Yeah, Endo's are free. I love Endo. What did I say? Anyone who's, maybe a lot of people who's watching this have not been watching these from the start. But what have I been saying about Endo from the start of this? I said we'd all love him, mate. He's one of them little small players that's just, you know what I mean? Just like fucking sick. Small little player, gets about and everything. Like, he runs all day. I knew he was going to be fucking sick. People were, our fans, this is why I don't understand. I try and stress how like bad our fans are going to be with the next manager. They're going to be terrible. People was writing Endo off after 2 games. He played 2 games when we had 10 men, bear in mind, right, come from Germany. Do you think people, Harry Kane will be having it off in Germany. Do you think people who play in the German league need to be as fit as to play in a Liverpool midfield? Not just any midfield in the league, not like a fucking midfield. I don't know who's a defensive manager in this league nowadays. Not a fucking Dyche midfield or something who sits back. A Liverpool midfield where you run all day. You run all game, yeah. and he looked a bit out of sorts the first 2 games, and people were saying, "Oh, he doesn't look up to it this end, or don't look up too much, does he?" You think, I bet he don't look up too much. He'd finished pre-season for Frankfurt, or was it Frankfurt, or did we buy him from Frankfurt? Finishing a pre-season for Frankfurt and going into a season for Frankfurt are 2 different things to Liverpool. Why would your fitness levels be Premier League ready? He's going to be sick. I love little players like that, you know. And it's like, I suppose it's not racist, is it, if you say something positive against a group of people? But even if you're grouping them all together, but like that, people from that area of the world, they're always like little battlers and fighters and just little small hard men. It's fucking sick. That's why they're all sick at like fucking Muay Thai and all that, and they'll just batter everyone because they're sick little gangsters. And Endor's going to be sick. I hope we have him for a few years. But then again, players like him, I do worry that he's sick because any midfielder for Klopp is sick. Like Klopp makes Stuttgart your sausage here. Sorry. I get that wrong every time, you know. But do you know why I get that wrong every time? But it's because that Frankfurt team that played Rangers, they were just a good German side. So anytime there's like any something moderate successful from Finger, going to be sick is about 40. Listen, we'll get 2-3 years out of him. Plus players from that region last a lot longer, mate, because they're fitness machines and they don't say no, don't go. Why does he wear gum shields? I seen a little like interview where he's like, what was in the interview? This is another thing. Why don't I remember these things? I seen an interview where he said why he had the gum shield. Hang on, let me have a look. What's his name again? Endor gum shield. Literally a few days ago. Yes, the Van Dijk goal's just gone in. Do you know the good thing about them boxes is you can rewatch the whole thing, can't you? That Enzo back heel instead of passing it to Palmer. Oh, mate, I can't believe how bad that some of them Chelsea players are, you know. They've got some... How have they spent all this... That guy said, oh, he's dog shit. If there was ever proof that I still can't pick a player... Do you know what, though? I can pick a fucking player, and I can pick a bad player. If the fellow, yes, Jamie P. Everyone's in. It doesn't matter how he played in his career compared to the likes of Real English midfielders. They all get run ragged. That's why he's got longevity. Don't really get that. Maybe I feel like it's too long for me to get it because I have to proper concentrate on reading it. Up the edge, yes, everyone's in. We're having a good little chat here. 15 minutes in. We'll answer questions today. There's a few big questions we need to answer. That Gallagher's. I like Gallagher, you know. I think Gallagher would have been good for us. Caicedo, I just don't think that Caicedo's good at all. Too much ADHD for you to get, possibly. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's that Caicedo played well at all. I feel like I feel like he's a decent player. Caicedo played well today. I feel like he's a decent player, but he's always a yard off the pace. I just feel like how can he be a yard off the pace? How many games into the season are we? I think he's terrible. And I thought he would have been like a proper sick player, and I was desperate for us to get him. Not for 115 million though, like obviously never for that price. But if we could have got him, I thought he would have been the sickest. He's everything you think should be amazing from 6 in it, like a little small South American, just little. Enzo Fernandez is better than JSP, but he's still better. Who's best goal you've ever seen live? Best goal I've ever seen live. What is the best goal? As in best goal as in the best goal, or the best goal as in like what I celebrated the most? 2 different things. The best goal I've ever seen live, right? And it's obviously not the best goal I've ever seen live, but I felt like it was the first time I ever felt love from everyone else for Henderson, because people forget, mate, I was beating people hated Henderson. I used to get fucking abuse for how much I loved him, but I loved him. And then that goal against Chelsea, do you remember Chelsea away? And people were coming and hugging me in the ground and be like, like just random people, and like my mates as well, just because of like how obsessed with Henderson I was. And that was like the first breakout thing he did. Oh, I swear there's something wrong with him as well. Why could he never celebrate a goal? I feel like he'd always try and run to the away end or run somewhere and then just stop. He always like just runs like he's like doesn't know what to do, and then knee slides like in the middle of the pitch. You don't get what he used to have the worst celebrations ever. I think I loved him. He was that passionate, you know. That's what it was. Like, if you look at all of his celebrations, he never really knew what to do. The celebration against fucking Southampton away is sick, because that's when he was getting a lot of fucking criticism, as per usual. Every single season it had happened, yeah. We'd go through a bit of a mad month in the season, and everybody would blame Henderson every single time, and every year it had happened, and people were like, he's no fucking captain of ours, and then you'd have to have the same arguments with the same people, and then we'd finish the season well, and everyone would be praising him again at the end of the season. And when he scored against Southampton, that was definitely a spell when I remember when people were giving him shit, and he did his little cup with his ears, and then jumped and just was dead happy. And then he gets himself away from all the other players so he can do another little celebration bit. It's fucking sick. Southampton, yeah, it was Friday night. Trying to fight. Yeah, that was it, Josh. Yeah, Southampton Friday night. And do you know what, right? That game, it's sad there's that, and Newcastle on Boxing Day were two days where I didn't go, right, because I had work where I could have gone, but like just work was too good. The money you would have earned going to work was like too good to turn down, and I went to work instead of going to them 2 games. And after the Leicester one on Boxing Day, I said, right, never, ever, ever again will I do that. I fucking do it all the time. Oh, mate, do you know what that goal went in? I was sat on the couch thinking, what type of fucking sausage gets himself banned from all this? Me, that's what type of fucking sausage. Can you believe it? Oh, I would have loved that. I don't know. Yeah, I would have loved that because the 0-0, I don't get really that nervous when I'm at the ground because I'm always so fucking pissed. I would have loved that. Oh, I would have loved it. Saved yourself a trek at our place. That was good, right, with my dad, right? He's a sick guy, you know. Think about this, yeah. My dad won't be asked about me saying this. So Easter Sunday last year, yeah, it was like my dad was really, really, really ill. And we got told that, like, so no, it was, he told my mum, like, he'd had enough, yeah. So Easter Sunday, all the family got together. And my mum told us, and she'd had it in for a couple of days. Like, imagine how much that weighed on my mum, yeah. And my mum told us that my dad had said, like, he'd had enough and all this, and he was in hospital. And then we visited, and then it was the next day, yeah. The next day, I went back down to Bolton, and I had just me and JJ, and I was shopping, and my mum rang me and was like, oh, he's had a really bad night, you need to come in, and went into hospital. Get this, it's got a nice end to the story. And went to the hospital, and there was me, my mum, and JJ in a room, the nurse took us to this little room, because my dad, like, didn't even know you were there, didn't recognise, couldn't even look at, like, if he woke up, he didn't recognise that I was his son or that JJ, or anything was going on. Man, I'm going to get a bit sad here. But it's got a nice end. And then, so this nurse takes us to this room, and she's like, literally like, because of what my dad had said, done all the things where you don't palliative care anymore and all that. They were like, he's got a few days, like, it's a few days, we're going to turn his oxygen off, and it'll be a few days, yeah. So obviously me, my mum, and my little kid, I'm sat there with JJ, and it's like the worst. And imagine getting told that. This was April last year, obviously. My auntie, his sister got on the next flight from, she lives in Portland, came down, like my mum, all the family came down, his other sister from London came down, and it was like the worst days ever. And then he moved into Bolton Hospice, and then look at it now, mate. So at the time I was thinking, come on, like, well, this will obviously, like, just praying for a miracle. And he fucking, a year later, he had, my sister had another baby in July. He saw seen all his grandkids be born. At the time, I was like, oh, I'd love another Christmas. We get another Christmas, and boom, a fucking final with him. And listen, I think it's a nice story. Do you know what I mean? We're still going. He's still kicking on. I think you do, right? There was a moment there where it was like, listen, this has been nice, yeah. But he would want this for me, and I would want this for me, and I promise you he would want this for me. There was a moment where that was like, this was sick. Loved every minute of it. But the next final we get to, I will not be sat in this house, no matter what. Oh, do you know? So I didn't, for the whole thing, I wasn't going. I was like, nah, I'm not going. I had a ticket in the ballot, I'll be honest, and it would have given me if the ticket had come in, it'd have given me a decision to make. Do I go? Do I not go? But I would have obviously come to the decision. No, you don't go because you're banned. That's the decision I would have come to, and I wouldn't have gone yet. And then when that was unsuccessful in the ballot with my mate's ticket, I was like, I think I'm good. Let's leave it. I don't need to drive for anything. Didn't ask a single person for Spurs, nothing, because I thought I wouldn't have gone anyway, and now I can't go. So I just left it. And then what happens Saturday night? So it was still Sunday. Saturday night, I get a fucking DM off of a good person on Twitter. Listen, there's a ticket there. Do you want it? Right? Or know anyone who wants it? And I thought, no, you're banned. Let's go and watch it with your dad. You said you would. It'll never happen again. Nah, I'm only joking. I'll never go to another game again until the ban's over and all that. But in the words of Neil Atkinson, Atkinson. I was thinking of Neil Adkins. Can you believe Neil Adkins at Tranmere? That's blown my mind. Neil Adkins being a Tranmere, mate, when you get an unbanned lad. Oh, do you know what? Right, how bad's this? Yeah. So I don't know if people even know what this means when I say it, but so it got only a club ban. So Liverpool rejected my appeal in October, and you have to send it to the IFO, the independent thing, before you can do anything else. Because obviously you have to, before you can like sue or anything like that, whatever, you have to have gone through every avenue that's possible of appeal. I still haven't even sent the thing to the IFO. It's quite bad, isn't it? But I have looked, and there isn't a time. There isn't a doesn't expire. I can send it to the iPhone whenever I want. But yeah, October I got it back, and we're in nearly in March, and I don't know. I just can't be asked at the minute. I will do 6 months. Oh, it's bad, isn't it? Listen, Daniel. Listen, it's bad. Is he from Birkenhead? It's Nigel Atkins from Birkenhead. I don't believe that for a second. No wonder he's at Tranmere. That's fucking sick if he is. Is he from Birkenhead? Oh my god, he's from Birkenhead. That's fucking sick. I've always liked Nigel Atkins, you know. I've always liked him. So 6 months. Oh, listen, Daniel. Yeah, we'll go back to this because then if big people think I think that hairline, it's going bad, isn't it? It is bad. We've been over this a few times, but listen, the hairline's bad. It's sad. What are we going to do? What the fuck are we going to do? It's bad. But I feel like I don't think I'll be sad to get rid of it all and just have a bald head because now I've got a beard. I say I've got a beard. How bad is it? I've never had a beard in my life. Never been able to grow a beard. I promise you. This was like something I collab with Darren G. I'd get Darren G on here. I promise you for years, right? If I was pissed and we would make a little joke about facial hair, I would say I could only get an Eddie Murphy slug, and it was all I could get for years. It was just this would be like, I don't even know how to explain what it would be like. It'd be like, have you seen the Jackass when they put pubes on the face and it's the early stage of this pube beard being made? Well, that's what this grew like for years. Obviously, I still understand this is a very terrible beard. That's what this grew like for years, yeah. Just like a proper like pubes here and then a thick fucking thing here, right? And that's all I could grow. So I never had a beard. I've never had a beard. I've been clean shaven my entire life. I've never grown even as much as stubble ever. And then I think last year, why did I let it grow for the first time? I can't remember why I let it grow for the first time. Was I ill or something? And it just grew, and it grew ish, like terrible, but ish. And I just grew it, and it hides so much weight, you know. That's the thing about beards. So I've known this for years. Obviously, all the different filters there are in life. There's loads of them, sunglasses, all them natural, easy filters, sunglasses. Even these glasses, people slag me off for how mad my glasses are. Why do you think I have such big glasses, mate? Because my face is even madder without the glasses. This covers up a big part of it, takes away the attention from how mad looking I am. Everyone goes, oh, you look mad in glasses. I look well better in glasses than I do without them, trust me. What was I even saying there? But if we have the hairline, the hairline's gone, but I will just go bald. But and this is what I say, right? The reason why I've not gone bald and the reason why I can't go bald is because of this day. For the next 3 days, I feel invincible. That is a serious trim, do you know what I mean? Oh, and I just feel on top of the world. I can't wait to go to work tomorrow. I'm going to be knackered tomorrow. Do you know what I've had to accept with these? And it is proper sad. So I start work at 6 in the morning every Monday. But when I finish this joint, I'm up till, what is it? We shouldn't be really going on this late, but I'm up till midnight at least because I just can't sleep after I've had a joint straight away. I don't know. I do eventually sleep. I do eventually eat myself into a stage where I get dead tired and that. Or if I just keep smoking weed after like 7-8 hours, I will like be just like zonked out. But nah, I'll never just have one and fall. People do that, don't they? They have a joint and fall asleep like within seconds. It'll never ever happen with me. That's just not how it works. That's just not how it works. So I've accepted every Monday I am just super tired. So I feel like sometimes when I moan about being tired at the end of the week, I don't help myself at all, do I? Like Dublin. How sick was that? Dublin in and out, 30 quid. 30 quid in and out in 1 day. My flight was at 7:15 in the morning, and I flew home at quarter to 10. Oh, sorry. I feel like I forgot that I was doing recording, then I just burped. You can mute your mic when you do things like burps and that, but what was my flights? Oh, I'm not going to be able to find them, am I? Because I bet you I'm not going to find. Oh, guess what time my flight is on Tuesday? Can you believe this? I feel like I do. Do you feel like you book things and then don't appreciate how bad it's going to be? My flight is at 5:45. 5:45 with a toddler. Do you graft or just sit behind a desk? I graft, you know. I graft my ass off, bro. I work in a warehouse now. I graft my ass off sometimes. Don't know how you deal with the constant abuse of kids who know if it's. Oh, do you know what, Tommy? Right, you just not bite. And I always think if you don't bite to these things yet, if you don't bite to things on Twitter, more because these people are just like such like no one's ass. No one really sees them. I illuminate the things. Oh, it's like that. That was one of the questions, but we're just gonna. It's like that fucking This tweet, the tweet that do you know that 20 times guy, the tweet about the fucking about being seen in Monton? Yeah, do you know why that wound me up so much? Because that's such a nice story. But I don't. What I find magic is what, if you think about Twitter, I am quite vocal on Twitter, like I'm on it all the time, but not as much as people think it is. Not much of my private life or what I actually do like privately is on Twitter. I don't really. Like nothing about my dad's ever on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? I don't put anything like that on. Like, there's loads of shit in my life that just never goes on Twitter. Because I feel like I've managed to do that. I've managed to keep my private life pretty much off Twitter. People, that's why it makes me laugh when people send me things and they'll go, "It's this," and it's miles off. Like it's miles off. So shame of us letting Clark go under Ashley Josh. Same with us letting Clark go under Ashley Josh. Killer. Clark, is that the one who managed Birmingham? Me and the lads booked our holiday last week. Our flight home's at 10:55 p.m. That's a terrible flight home. 10:55 p.m. Do you know what I booked flights on? Look at these flights I booked today. So I'm going to Cyprus I booked these. My barber's wedding is in Cyprus. The one who did my own JJ's today, and I booked his wedding today. Right, the flight there sound for 1:30, right? The flight back, and I'll have JJ with me. The flight back is 9:40, departs at 9:40 and lands at 12:30 after midnight. Now, Bobby Clark, who's... Oh, did he come for your academy? Bobby Clark? Same was... yeah, he might not end up being anything just because he played that game. It's not like the biggest... I won't be regretting that already. What was you talking about? Oh, the fucking Monton thing. Yeah, so... do you know what? So that's all week. I just kept thinking, that tweet would have come in, yeah. But it's annoying because I feel like... do you know when you feel like you're onto someone, right? I promise you now, this is not bullshit. You know when you feel like you're onto someone at the time, but you're not sure, right? So during lockdown, yeah, my mum's a childminder. I've said that on here before. During lockdown, gonna address the Twitter rumours, Roogs. Right, you've come just in time, mate. We're addressing them right now. So my mum's childminder. She look after this kid called Michael, right? Do you remember the Fogden video where Fogden takes a glove off a kid called Michael? That's Michael, yeah. So I don't need to explain Michael's life yet to anyone in here, and I would never. So, but Michael's had a tough life, yeah. So he's been going to my mum's. My mum's been childminding him for years, like a little brother to me. And in lockdown, because his grandma who looks after him was a nurse, he had to go back to my mum's. My mum had stopped childminding by that point because he's like 16 now, so at the time would have been like 13. But so I think if he's had to go to a child because of how lockdown was and everything, and what everything goes on with Michael, he had to have gone to a childminder while his grandma was at work. He's like, I think he was like, would he have been old as 13, maybe 11 or something like that? Yeah. Imagine being an 11-year-old stuck in my mum's house, and my mum was shielding my dad at the time. Obviously, as we've just been talking about, mum was shielding my dad at the time, so she wasn't really working. But you can't say no to her. You can't say no to Michael because my mum's childminded all them, and my mum and his grandma are like proper close, and she childminded his older brother who's in my year at school, his older sister. No, I don't think they did a sister actually, and then his older brother. So 3 of the brothers my mum's childminded for years, yeah, I'm talking going over decades. So you couldn't say no to Michael. And he was stuck in my mum's house all through lockdown. So we used to go on some sick bike rides. I used to take him up to the Reeboks. He was a gangster inmate, by the way, for his age. He would fly up there with you. And even if like you had to go on the side of little dual carriageways and stuff, he wouldn't be harsh one bit, mate. He would stay on his bike behind you and follow you on like on the East Lancs and stuff, and obviously not on the East Lancs, but you know what I mean, to the side of the East Lancs and a little bike track. He's a little gangster. He used to go up to these were sick days. We're going all through lockdown. I'd take him to the Reebok, pedal up to the Reebok. If we would go to the Reebok, we'd get like a little scram from Asda, because obviously them sort of shops were open, and just sit on the thingy. But he's a big Bolton fan. That's why Fogden was a little muppet when he took his goalkeeping gloves off him, because obviously he's just a kid in him, Michael. He'll think it's a nice thing to give Fogden his gloves, but so what? Fogden shouldn't have fucking took him off him, and that's glad he got him back. And I got him actually helped getting him back, little knobhead. And yeah, we'd go on sit bike rides. So this is why that comment on Twitter annoyed me so much, because we'd pedal down to Monton as well. Does anyone know the loop lines? I'll have to show you the loop lines, because the loop lines are the sickest thing in the world. So they go all the way from Farmworth, yeah, to Monton. And I think they go further, but I've never gone past Monton. Loop lines. What would you say they're in Bolton? Would they count as Bolton or Worsley? The loop lines. Image. Yeah, look at these. So it's this all the way. You're talking. So it's when you get to the end of it, it's a 10K bike ride. Yeah, look at that. And that's that. You don't go. Sometimes you have to come off, and there's like a little tiny road, and you go through another gate. Yeah. So look at that. And it's that all the way down. It's sick, and it's downhill. Sickest bike ride ever. And that's 10K, and you go all the way from Farnworth to like pretty much in Salford. Yeah. So we do that as well. And I remember, I swear I remember, yeah, on anyone's life. One of the times we went to Monton, we went to the Tesco Express, yeah, and got a meal deal. I'd get us both a meal deal, and we'd sit on the little bench and scran it. And I remember, yeah, looking over, there's a pub called, what's the pub? There's a pub facing it, definitely, 1,000,000% a pub facing it. How would I get it? Tesco Express, Monton. How can I find the pub facing it? Can I go on Google, if I go on Google Maps, hang on, and I turn it round. Look, so there's the Tesco Express in Monton. Yeah, watch this. Oh, there's not a pub facing it. There's not a pub facing it. Yes, there is. No, there's not a pub facing it at all. Talking absolute garbage. What's facing it? There would be a guy outside of. I thought there was a pub facing it. I'm at the right Tesco Express. No, I am, you know. That's definitely it, isn't it? Oh, is that a pub next to it? Oh, there's a pub next to it. I was thinking there's not. I was thinking then definitely it's next to it. Look, Tesco Express. I was thinking, whoa, am I lying here? Tesco Express. So nervous I was getting. I was thinking, why am I like? Look, there's a pub next to it, the park here. Look, Tesco Express, right? And I remember, so he must have been to my left. And I remember there was being like a guy, but he was with a girl and they had a dog. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and then he looked at me again. But when I don't know if he was still looking at me, but then when I've looked at him again, he's still looking at me, and I went, "You all right, mate?" And he went, "Yeah, you're all right," but like a Manc accent. And never thought nothing of it ever, but I remember it, yeah. And it's definitely, so he's just seen me, and that's why it annoyed me, because he's definitely seen me, because you can't, the tweet he said, right? You wouldn't know I was in Monton, like doing bike rides with like a kid. Do you know what I mean? Like to say that, so he's definitely seen me. If it wasn't him, maybe I pedaled past someone else, and you've seen me like pedaling around Monton with a kid, and you thought that, you've made that up. Obviously, you've made that up. I know it was obviously just to wind me up on Twitter. I know he doesn't actually think that, but you thought that about a guy and a kid, and that's why I feel that's where Twitter's died now. Because in the past, everyone would go, "Wow, that's such a weird thing to say." Because we used to like attack nonsense and shit like that, and then now everyone's just like, look how funny this is, just got caught. And it's like, back in the day, we terrorised him for making up such a weird story, but now I feel like the Muppets of Twitter have now taken over Twitter. Do you know what I mean? Are you a Bolton fan? I don't support Bolton, Tony, mate. No, but I think I'll start going to more Bolton games, because I've been known to go to a Bolton game. I've been known to go to big Bolton games, and I've been known to enjoy Bolton games, proper enjoy them, like get into it. And do you know what the best bit used to be? The best bit about it, obviously, so I'm from Bolton. So when I was going to the games with my dad when I was younger, I was just going to the games with my dad. I didn't have any Scouse mates or anything. So all my mates were from Bolton. All my mates was with lads I went to schools and stuff. And most of them supported Bolton or United. But if they supported United, they didn't go to the games. Do you know what I mean? It was this Bolton and they went to the games, or United and they didn't go to the games. And so as I grew up older and started like meeting other Liverpool fans to go to the game with, if I wanted to go and drink with my mates that I went to school with and grew up with and stuff, I'd go to the football. I'd go to Bolton games with them. I used to fucking love it. Some of the probably most fun ways I've had is watching Bolton. I always remember, yeah, Bolton, when they went down to League One, they played Swindon away and they won 1-0. And it was that's this story, and it was the sickest thing of all time, right? So, they won 1-0, and there was these Scottish lads who jump on it, because Rangers and Bolton have got this weird little like, not all like not friendship at all. I don't know if Rangers actually know it, and Bolton just like them, but a lot of Bolton fans, a lot of Rangers fans, or a few Rangers fans like Bolton. Have you ever been to Coventry? Have I ever been to Coventry? I don't think so. I don't think I've ever been to Coventry in my life. What's the biggest burner accounts that needs to get rid of? What are the biggest burner accounts that need to get rid of, Weeks? See, I don't know who's got burner accounts. I got accused. Do people think I can be the absolute garbage and nonsense I tweet off my own account? Do you think people think I've got another account that I tweet even worse garbage off? Why do I ever get accused? I think it's just when people are arguing with someone and they've got nothing else to say, they'll say he's got a burner account. No, why would I ever have a burner account, mate? Best scenes I've ever had as a fan was the 2 years in the Championship, nothing better. Oh, Rob, yeah, mate. I think I would love to have it. Obviously, not as a Liverpool fan, but I'd love to have a season in the Championship as a team that's far too big to be in the Championship. Nah, yeah, definitely. I bet it is. I always think sometimes is it not? Do you know the teams like? Do you know like your Norwich's over the years? I know they don't look like they're going to come up this year, but Norwich is over the years, and who else could you say? Uh, who else is in the Championship? Do you know the teams that go up and come down and go up and come down? They must rather have that. Surely you'd rather have like Palace, who were just always Crystal Palace are always going to be in the league now. Yeah, they've got up and they'll just probably always be one of the other teams in the league. They'll probably maybe 1 year if they could get a coach right and they have a few youth like good kids come through or buy a few decent signs, they might get in this new conference league or have a cup run or something. But they're just going to always just be in the. Do you know who Esteban Patton? Oh man, I don't care about any of them. You know, I feel like I just need to stop arguing with these fucking idiots, and I just don't care about any of them. Biggest game for Bolton was 2-2 against Yeovil short finish. What was he saying then? Oh, see, you've come in and wrecked the vibe, Tony, mate. Who is this Tony? Get him out of here, mate. He's wrecking the whole vibe. Tony, go away. Message me on Twitter and I'll argue with you in half an hour. Don't start coming in here trying to fucking wreck the vibe chat, you little muppet. Swerve it and go away. Message me on thingy, we'll fight on there. I personally can't wait to back of the Championship Luton fan. Seriously, no, why would you say that? Why would you say that? I think you should be having the time of your life. No way. Why would you want to get back to the Championship? You're fighting for your life. This is sick. I'd love to be a Luton fan for this season because you should have been dead and buried. So anything now is a bonus. We all just listen. We all wrote you off, mate. I promise you. Every other fan. I was. There's definitely a tweet or one of the live chats or watch along where I say you were going to get like worse points than Derby, and I was probably just taking the piss. But mate, there's no way. Or just better cracking. All right, now I get that. Like the games are better and not as much like. It's not serious. I don't know what you mean. I think I kind of get what you mean. The Premier League is a bit of like a pressure cooker, and you can't really sometimes just enjoy football. But listen, mate, enjoy this season. Don't be wishing the season away, mate. This must be a sick season for Luton because you're proper down there fighting. You get results and stuff against big teams, and you do well and go to Newcastle and win and stuff. Nah, this must be a six. I think this is a fucking sick season for a Luton fan. I'd love this. But yeah, I get what you mean. And would you not love like going up and down, or would you rather just be like a? Would you rather just be like in the Championship doing all right? I don't know, but surely you must. This is sick. This is sick for a Luton fan. I remember like teams like Blackpool though. Do you remember when they did it? Did they stay up Blackpool or go straight down? There's a few teams in there that I thought that was what Luton were going to be. Do you know where like the fans get up for it at the start and they're a bit like tricky to play against and stuff, and they do quite well. To be fair, I thought that about Brentford, and Brentford have kicked on as well. There's so many owners in the Championship who just like the Premier League bubble. Once you're in it, you're just making money forever. How many Championship clubs are going to go bust over the years? But got owners gamble the finances on getting to the Premier League, and then do you know like, is it like Sheffield Wednesday? Didn't they try it? And then after a few years, where you're like, if you Derby, definitely the Derby owner who like gambled on them going up and getting into that fucking Premier League bubble. And then what was he called? Was it Mel Morris? You could see it coming, and every year they'd just miss out. Didn't they miss out on just missed out with McLaren, just missed out with Lampard, and then it fucking went to shit. You could have seen that a mile off. I think it happened with Sheffield Wednesday as well. It happened with so many clubs where some guy just thinks, if I can get in the Premier League, if I can just get in the Premier League, I'll be making money forever and ever. And then 3 years of throwing money at it, it just doesn't work. I feel like you need to get the right managerial appointment. Right, anyway, we're 41 minutes in, we've not answered one question. But the first question, listen, sometimes I could, very rare, because mainly I just get the questions when I'm outside having my joint, but sometimes I can make the questions, what's it called? I put him in an order. The first question was from John Smith, my podcasting friend, mate, our podcasting brother. He was asking a question so I would give me an opportunity to make myself sound like a nice person, actually, for taking Michael out on bike rides during lockdown. Fucking a very nice person. But it was good, because I was trying to get fit. I was fat and I couldn't really keep up with seasoned bike riders. I'm saying he's a gangster, they won't keep up with me, but I was just fat and out of shape. Charlie had it in the final day at Old Trafford. Did they stay up? Oh, yeah, they went straight down, didn't they? Yeah, I thought they went straight down. Of course, we just want to watch football where you can control the game again. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. So, I get that. Yeah, I do get that. So, as a Luton fan, yeah, you've gone from like, even the years where you were, if you like, lost out on playoffs, you would still be beating most of the teams in the league, just not quite good enough. So say you're getting playoffs and getting knocked out in the playoffs, you're still probably like the top 8-9 team in the league. So you're always like, you're only around the corner from. I know what you mean. Whereas at the minute, it's like, a lot of snatch and grabs, and yeah, I get it. I get that. I do get that. But it is exciting. It's got to be exciting for a year, mate. I would love to be a Luton season fan for a year. Coventry, the novelty wears off. Sharpish, mate. Sick going to all the grounds. Or I thought you was asking questions. See, I thought, oh, Coventry, there you go. I'd love to see the Premier League season ticket for 10 years and mid-table championship, fuck's sake. Cov for life. I think I'll be in beef with Coventry all the time now because of that fucking, what's he called? Is he called Ren? Is his name Ren or George? What is it? Or is it George Ren? He is one of the most insufferable Twitter things because he's like, how can you support Coventry and just hate Liverpool? What is his deal with this guy? Why does he? And he just, but he genuinely thinks I care and stuff when Liverpool lose. Like I get dead like proper upset about it and stuff, which I do if I'm at the games. But when I'm at home, and he has this thing in his head that I lie, that I lie about not watching the games. When I watch a game, I send about 50. Did you see how many tweets I sent out during the final? I tweet all the time when I'm watching a game. If I'm not watching a game, I won't tweet about it. Like if I'm not watching a game, I won't tweet about it. So many football league teams hate you. It's so strange. Oh, hate Liverpool. Yeah, I know. That is definitely because at some point in their life they've been terrorised by Scousers, and it is because when you see both sides of it, like obviously growing up full Bolton, having a full set of Bolton mates, but then obviously over the decades or decade and a half of going watching Liverpool with people from there in Liverpool and that, and having like some of my best friends in the world, who I consider my best friends in the world, are Scouts nowadays. You know what I mean? Obviously, I've still got my best friends in Bolton and that. Like I see both sides, and I feel like the reason why a lot of people hate Liverpool is because Scousers at some points terrorised them. Probably should don't get you so chatty after a joint. See, this is what we say, mate. This is. You don't need all these tests and things with ADHD. Yeah, if you've got ADHD and you have a joint, this happens. And if you don't have ADHD and you have a joint, you fall asleep because it's like when I have a joint, it turns on everything. You think it's just chatty on here. This is just a good way of getting it out of me. I have a joint, and for 5 hours, I am Googling everything, researching everything, watching everything. My head just goes into overdrive. It's ridiculous. But then that's what we said before. Eventually, I just eat so much and eating it because I get the bad munches, and I eat so much that I just fall asleep because I ate so much. Main reason so many people hate Liverpool on Twitter is because they see themselves as being in. See themselves as well. It was well harder to read on screen. It was easier to read. Why did I do that? See themselves as being in that footy lad culture, which leans into the royal. Yeah. There's loads of ours. Yeah, that is definitely a part of it. That is definitely a part of it. Definitely, like we as Liverpool fans, not just Scousers, but we as Liverpool fans, like we're like more. It's like individual because that's not the word I'm thinking. Like more. It's the footy lad culture that we're just definitely not a part of. Like. People think we boo the national anthem for attention, but it's not like it's not like we don't like. I actively hate the Royals. I think they're like just the worst. Like I suppose I don't hate them like in terms of like hate. I don't hate them. I don't have a hate in my heart for them, but like see no point in them. I think they're absolute waste of time. I think they're horrendous people, horrible family. Like I used to TiVo and Dicker man. I'm not that like I don't know my weed, you know. I've never been I've not been smoking weed all my life. Only had my first joint in 2019. Like I'm not like a big weed guy. I just pick a name off the list and grab it. The Maccombs love the Royals. Do they? Never knew that. Do Sunderland fans love the Royal family? No. What's on? Oh, they're showing the finger. But I thought Finger had scored. I thought Van Dijk had scored. I said that before. Yes, Josh. Yes, Lee Morris. Is this the Lee Morris or is this the Lee Morris who asked the question that time? See, I never can tell with this. Right, we need to go to questions. You see that Blackpool fan on Twitter getting filled in by other Blackpool fans. No, when's that? See, some of these fights that happen on Twitter are hilarious, aren't they? That one with the did anyone see the video of the what's that? Oh, not my finger over for fuck's sake. Oh, 1 sec. That's not my drink over. I don't matter. Mags love the British and Saudi Royals. Mags love the British. Listen, these two are fighting. Do you love the Queen? Do you love the Royal Sunderland? I think they do actually, because that's what. No, you do. You actually do. I know you do. I've spoke to. We was in a chippy once, right? there was loads of us there. So again, no one can say I'm lying. And we was in there with John Henderson's uncle, I promise you. But I remember at the time I was like too pissed to appreciate who it was. But I was talking to him, listening to him. And now he was saying shit like that. And that's why like you love England and all Sunderland fans are like big England fans, aren't you? And that's why Henderson loves the country. And yeah, I get it. Yeah, you are. So Rob, I always see Newcastle as not like, so I feel like most Boltoners, yeah, and this is God's honest truth. If you ask people from, I don't know, maybe like more like gypsies and stuff, but that's more who my mates are from Farnworth. So people from Farnworth are not like people from Bolton, but we're from Bolton, but people from Farnworth are like. So I think we see ourselves more as like from Farnworth. I never say really I'm from Bolton. I say I'm from Farnworth. Obviously, I say I'm from Farnworth to most people because who the fuck knows where Farnworth is, but we don't see ourselves as the same. Definitely not. And then obviously Sporting Liverpool makes it even as much. I feel like, what was it? What was the whole point of that? You really see anyone? Never you see anyone at Anfield with Stone Island. So I don't think that's definitely not our little thing. That's like their little thing, isn't it? Yeah. When do you see Stone Island at Liverpool games? Sometimes you do. I don't really see many Scousers in Stone Island. I don't think we're any different. Pretty much every city in England, other than Liverpool, have most working class people love them, don't they? Yeah. Bolton's like that. Bolton love the Royals. When she died, I was seeing it because obviously, if you like, say I'm on my Instagram, say half my Instagram are my friends from Bolton. Obviously, I've got loads of friends from growing up in Bolton and stuff. So I was seeing all of them like post things like, "What a lovely woman." People would do like full on like picture things of her on their Instagrams and stuff and reels of her. Yeah, she's loved in Bolton. But then again, I suppose it's completely different, isn't it? Because not only am I a Liverpool fan from Bolton, I'm not, because like most of my like close mates who live in Bolton, their whole families live in Bolton, and then the whole bloodline's Bolton. Do you know what I mean? But my mum and dad just moved to Bolton, so I've got a Scottish mum, born in Scotland, raised in Scotland, a Nigerian dad, born in Nigeria, raised in Nigeria. By the way, moved to Nigeria when it's like 30. I always get this wrong. Is it 13 or 15? Then we just got put in Bolton. My sister was 4 when we moved to Bolton. Do you know what I mean? So I suppose I've never had like the Bolton values, but I fucking love being from Farnworth. I love it. It's a massive Irish influence in Liverpool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Richard's right. Yeah, it is a definitely massive. Yeah, Ireland is a massive influence on the way like it's spread across Liverpool. Terry Max? Why do you not support Liverpool? Because my dad Bolton. Because my dad supports Liverpool. So obviously, like, imagine when my dad was going to all these mad games, and I just say, "Oh, Dad, can you just drop us off at the Reebok?" Actually, or just stick us on the bus to the. Hey, another thumbs up. Stick us on the bus to the Reebok, mate, because Bolton are playing fucking whoever the fuck tonight. My dad supports Liverpool, so I support Liverpool. Want to hear a mad story about Jordan Henderson? Tell me a mad story about Jordan Henderson, please. While I start the live chat with the questions. The best thing about Bolton is breakfast at White's Hotel. So Paddy, late entrance, first question asked. He says, "Where does today's win rank amongst Klopp's wins?" You know, like, because obviously it's his last. At least now, no matter what, in Klopp's last season, at least we've got a trophy. Do you know what I mean? We've got a trophy to celebrate. So I'd do a fucking bus tour with that League Cup if that's all he wins. I don't give a fuck because it's not a League Cup bus tour really. It's a fucking goodbye Klopp one, and I would do a bus tour for the League Cup, and I don't give a fuck who has a problem with it. But we'll win more. I think we're going to win the FA Cup and the League Cup again. Maybe the Europa, but we're not going to win the league, sadly. Yes, mate, I've said twice now. Tell us your story about Henderson. I think it ranks. I'm not that nostalgic for like things like this. Like, it was a good day. We had our kids out and that, but it is still a League Cup, and I would do that. That's not me like going straight back on myself. I would still do the thingy because like a Klopp goodbye, but like it still is the League Cup. Nowhere near the Premier League, Champions League, even the World Cup, but yeah, the FA Cup. But yeah, it was good, massive because of what it is, and I love that it's his last season. It means we can definitely do something at the end of the season because we've at least got one trophy to do something with. So yeah, it's massive, but not as high as the Champions League, mate. I felt like I completed. I felt like I completed football when I watched like Madrid in front of me. But I was on like row 11. You're watching this happen. I love European football, love the Champions League, love Liverpool, and I'm watching Liverpool win the Champions League in front of my eyes. You know what I mean? It was like the best thing ever. Not fancy league also. I think too many injuries for the league, and I just think City are just too strong. Like, we've won today and we beat Luton, but it's Luton, and like we scraped past Chelsea today. I think he could catch up on us that. Matt Johnson, what's the best day ever on Twitter? See, I feel like I miss all the best days on Twitter. What's the best day ever that's been on Twitter? What was the best thing that happened on Twitter? Do you know what was a great day, actually? I'll say this, actually, because it was sick. When, what's he called now? Fitzsimmons, is it Scott Fitzsimmons? No, what's he called when he beat Anthony Fowler? When Anthony Fowler lost, who was that against Anthony Fowler? What's his name now? The mad guy from, is it Charlie or Preston? What's he called? DBKK getting exposed. Is that, is DBK that, what's he called? Danny Brady. See, that's another thing that I never, Fitzgerald, that's it, Scott Fitzgerald, yeah, fucking hell. It's the chats behind, I'm Googling it and you're all saying it. See, again, the Porno Shawno and the DKT, I feel like I've never been this. It's mad because I'm on Twitter. I am on Twitter all the time, yeah, and I am actively on Twitter, but I feel like I'm always out of the loop of other things that's happening on Twitter because I just tweet my stuff and then go. Do you know what I mean? I don't even never had Twitter notifications or anything like that. I just tweet my stuff and then whatever people, probably a bit of a ignorant tweeter, really. If people interact with me, I'll interact back with them, but I don't really like ever read the timeline that much unless I'm like super stoned on the couch or something. I never really do it. So I miss out on all these days. Like I weren't really involved in the Porno Shawno when I just heard about it later. That Dan Brady guy, I know about it now, but I didn't know about it at the time. But mate, yeah, let's say when Fitzfiggy beat when Scott's Fitz, when was that? What was the time? I'm trying to find it. Scott Fitzgerald, man, what a guy. As if he's let his career just get to that. He'll end up being fucking broke money, and he could have made some serious money, especially with the boom under Eddie earning everything. Was he all right, Rob? Yeah. Not into him, me. Still wasn't that Scott beating. Oh, it was sick, bro. And I remember it was like a back and forth fight, and then he dropped him, didn't it? It was like, ha. So me and a few of his mates would be around, like 15, and was chatting to her, saying he was going to go for a kick about with him. What? He was going to have a kick about with him. Was he? How old was he at the time? One of the all-time great nights at Fitzgerald fight. He's in prison. Is he on? Did he go to jail? What for? See, I knew he was I think he was putting him in rehab, wasn't he? Eddie was putting him in rehab. Scott Fitzgerald, it brings up some other guy, boxer, and he, jailed. No way. What happened? Yeah, Fingy was putting him in rehab to pay for. What's happened? How did he go to jail? Pub attack. Oh my god, jailed for pub attack. Yeah, something like that was always going to happen. Crazy guy, innit? When he dropped him, then you didn't think he was going to get the decision. Oh, he slapped his bird about. No, it says bar attack here. Ejected after causing too much commotion by landlines. Seen push a bouncer under the influence of drinking drugs. He had so many people trying to help him as well. What was his agent called? Was it Steve Wood? Steve Wood tried his best with him. Eddie tried his best with him, and it just didn't work, did it? No, I don't think he slapped his bird about. But yeah, what a day that was on Twitter. That was one of the best. I'll go with that one because I haven't really got enough answer. Lee Johnson and Matt Johnson straight after each other. Matt Johnson's the I wonder if they're related. Matt Johnson's Instagram guy, and Lee's Lee Johnson. He's a manager I've never liked, Lee Johnson. And I don't know why is it, but the clubs that he had him play, what happened to his stock? He's like, oh gosh, do you remember him? Is Lee Johnson liked by the people that he was? Because then I seen that girl, the Sunderland fan on Twitter, she said bring him home about Lee Johnson. But I always had this impression that people that were Lee Johnson had been, they didn't like him. Because I remember I went to an Oldham away game once year against somewhere far, but I didn't think it was far. I thought it was near Birmingham, and it turns out it's past London. Is it Colchester? Colchester? Is Colchester past? Where's Colchester? Is Colchester past London? Anyway, they lost. They got beat. They were 3-0 down, and then they got it to 3-2, and Lee Johnson was the manager at Oldham. And then I'm sure Oldham fans fell out of him because did he fuck them off and leave them early? Essex, yes, it was Colchester then. So I, for some reason, thought Colchester was near Birmingham, and my mate was like, yeah, definitely. Then it was Colchester because it was Essex. So my mate was like, do you want to come to Thingy versus Colchester? I wonder if we could find the game. And Colchester were 3-0 up, and it finished 3-2 to Swerdown was only like 19 at the time. Me and mates were like 15, 16. That's sick. He was just going to come and have a kick about with you. That's unreal. He's a good. See, Henderson's a nice guy, and they was on the way back. I remember in the minibus, them all proper slagging Lee Johnson off and not having him at the time. But no, they weren't. No, I'm talking nonsense. Sorry, I went to another game after that, and we'll talk about him. Yeah. No, and on the way back, they liked him. They said he played good football and stuff. She'll have been taking the piss, mate. Surely he was fucking awful. Though Michael Beale, was he terrible? Yeah, I've never liked him, never thought he was a good manager, because I remember obviously getting to know him through that Oldham game and just thinking, this guy just talks like, doesn't he? He's like a bit of a chancer, I feel like. And then maybe the only people I think could like him would Bristol City fans maybe liked him, because he had them not flying, but considering how like not great they had, didn't he have him in the playoffs and that? Michael Beale is a top bloke, Josh didn't give him long enough. I feel like, right, Michael Beale could have been a good manager. Like if he'd stayed at QPR and like, because they'd been like struggling massively in terms of like nearly getting relegated. If he could have just kept them as a championship, I feel like he just jumped. But he loved that Rangers job, didn't he? Did he really turn down the Wolves job to stay at QPR then take the Rangers job? Is that something that really happened, or is that just because I seen that on Twitter and I don't know if it was true or not. Surely no one wants Lee Johnson. I'll read that question next week. Smidge asking questions next week. Yeah, we've been on it for an hour now. We'll read it next week. James Jones. Oh, this is James Jones' question. I wonder if he ever read, like, if you've given up on it now. He asked this 5-6 weeks ago, but now I've kind of got a card for it now. So he said, what would your realistically Queensborough versus Matchroom card be? 5 or 6 fights. So I finally went with, because I went with, but I don't know why I didn't realise, because I feel like Eddie Hearn has got fighters that fight in like international fighters, but I don't think like Frank Warren has he? Because Frank Warren doesn't really do shows in America, whereas Eddie does shows in America and in England. Do you know what I mean? So I went with Yard versus Callum Smith. Desperate to see that was number 1. Nick Ball versus Lee Wood, only because I couldn't think of anyone else. I didn't think I feel like I would rather see Nick Ball versus Cordina, but I feel like the gap between Nick Ball and Cordina is too good, where Cordina would definitely win, and so it wouldn't be like that good. So I feel like Nick Ball and Lee Wood instead, and then Johnny Fisher and that Marcus, is it? I just pronounce his name, Atuma, whatever he's called, the young guy. That'd be a sick fight, I think. I think that'd be a sick fight, that one. That Nathan Heaney, I like him versus Felix Cash. I like that Nathan Heaney because he beat. So Jack Flatley's a boxer from Bolton. So like if he's ever fighting and he's on TV, I'll watch him because he's from Bolton. And he's just a sport Bolton lad. And he that Nathan Heaney beat him and he was dead sound in the after press thing. And I thought, you know what, I like him. And then he beat Denzel Bentley as well, and he was sound again. So I thought, yeah, he's sound, that Heaney. So Heaney versus Felix Cash. Had him on rant. What's it? It's fuck off, Rob. At least we didn't spit on the greatest manager in our history. What I'm missing all these. I like the chats argue with each other though. This is good. This is what I always wanted, the chat to get into each other, but I feel like I missed it all. And then the last fight was Anthony, how do you pronounce it? Kakachia. It isn't it, Kakachia versus either Cordina or Zelfa Barrett if Cordina's like. So maybe that was a Lee Wood fight. No, I want Nick Ball, Lee Wood. This was the Cordina one. I thought I was overthinking myself. I wonder why I said about Cordina on it. No, Anthony Kakachi versus Cordina. But if Cordina's too good for Anthony Kakachi, which he probably is, sorry, that was it. Because I was thinking that Nick Ball's really, really good. Zelfa Barrett. That's my card. Right, I had him in Aaron Ramsey on MSN when he was young. Great careers they've had. Aaron Ramsey. See, Aaron Ramsey, to me, I think he would have been. He ended up having an okay. Are they fighting each other? Cordina and Kakachi are fighting each other? That's a fight that's happening. Is that really happening? No way. Shut up. On that card. Aaron Ramsey, does anyone not believe that he would have had a better career? I know he ended up like winning a couple of FA Cups and scoring a few screamers, but he only really had like a 2-year decent spell. Do you know what I think he would have been unbelievable if he'd not broke his leg? I feel like football was, yeah, I feel like, yeah, he was half a season. That's what I mean. I feel like he was only ever good for like, I said 2 years, and even that's probably a bit good. Do you know these players that make a career off like a year of being good, and if you're British, you can definitely make an even better career of it. On the Fiorucci card, no way, I did not know that. He played for Arsenal, of course, he had an career. Listen, Arsenal, a good side. And we'll see my granddad, the Arsenal fan, on Tuesday, actually in Spain. This live chat's going to be, anyway, right, who's in here now who's a regular? So most of the regulars on the way home from the game. We've not had Sabrim in here. He'll be on the way home. Stefan, Mike. Where's all the other regulars? Who's the other regulars? We're missing a few of them anyway. What was I saying then? What was I saying then? What was I talking about then? It was important, definitely important, because I feel like I was properly getting into it. What was I talking about then? He played for. What was I talking about then? What was the? I can't stop this, and this is where I need to chat. Someone help me out. Weren't talking about boxing. Weren't talking about. We just finished talking about Arsenal, NAF career. Weren't talking about finger. Do 3 weeks in a row count as a regular? Yeah, you 3 weeks in a row, right? You're a regular now, Paddy. That's it, yeah. Listen, join the community. Listen, this will grow this, in 3 years' time, when you want to be all getting this in now, because in 3 years' time, when this has got, listen, you don't need to have 50,000 people yet watching your thing to make good money from something. If this has got thousands of viewers a week in 3 years' time, this chat will have to be members only, and you're going to have to pay £1 a week to chat. Otherwise, it'd just be spam messages. You know Luke Thomas's chat yet? You couldn't. It was just spam, and you literally couldn't, like, you can't even put a message and see it. Obviously, he doesn't read them because he has too many messages to read them anyway. He even doesn't even read the members ones, really. But it never get to a point where you couldn't read the members one, because I'm not going to be Luke Thomas, am I? Members, do you have to pay £1 to comment? Not £1 each comment. £1. So otherwise the chat would just be fucking filled with garbage. So listen, get it now, because within 3 years, members only chat. Rob, do you know what? I remember. I'll make a list. At some point, I'll make a list of the... I'm still going to land Glasgow. Of course, mate. I've got a ticket for Glasgow. I'll be there, mate. I can't fucking wait. I'll do a live chat from Glasgow. No, I won't really. I'll be at Glasgow on a Sunday when I'll have to do that live chat after Glasgow. I'll do a special live chat the night after Glasgow while I'm eating a big fucking Chinese, feeling like the world's going to end. Fabe, getting to you already. Not £1 to comment. £1. You have to be I'll have to think the chat. Listen, Paddy, you would make it. Paddy, Rob, I'd have you written down in a little note. By the time that comes in within 3 years, 3 years is the cash out on it being like that. By the time that is, I'll have wrote down the regulars and you get free memberships for life, because you've been here since the start. These are good. I love them. Do you know what's the best thing about these? Even if they never took off, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy making them. They're sick. You know, I weren't supposed to have this on. This was just I was just wearing a t-shirt, and then when I fucking sat, obviously I've gone outside for it. I was roasting when I got home from being at my mum and dad's, and then I was, you know, when you get home from somewhere and you've got all shopping bags and whatever, and you've got the kid, you got a charger around the house and everything. I was ever thought about Twitch. I used to do Twitch, didn't I? I did Twitch during I've got an account on Twitch with quite a few hundred followers on it, because I did Twitch during lockdown, but you can't say anything you want to say on it, and that you get banned all the time. So I couldn't be asked with Twitch. Me and Robin are straight for a free membership. But these are took off more on a thingy. You're not even allowed to talk about smoking weed and that, are you? You can't say nothing like that on Twitch, you get banned. Imagine that. Me and Robin are straight for you. Both of them, because I would need you both fighting each other in the chat to keep the chat active. I want you two beefing each other. Listen, when we do the live chat live, Josh has to come down for it and Rob has to come down for it. But we will part of the live chat live, we will set you up with a camera in the car and record you coming down to it, part of the documentary we do. First one's always the heaviest, like, I can't wait, Lee. I honestly can't wait. And you know what? For years I've downplayed Glasgow, that I'm not that asked about it, just out of like self-preservation, because I'd never tried, because people say it's hard to get a ticket, I'd never even bothered trying. And plus I do like a festival abroad, like when you can rely on the weather. It's like it is well better, in my opinion. And so I sort of always thought, if I can't go to Glasgow, I'll just pretend I didn't like it. And then about 3 out of the last 4 years, I've tried for tickets and not. And then I got them this year. Do a phone boost scrap, lad. No, we're not doing fighting. There's no fighting. We don't need to fight. Just the Muppets on Twitter. That's who all the people we're fighting. I think some of the people, do you know that thing with the weird guy who made that little shout up? I think some of the people that jumped on that, I think, I'll slap you when I see you. Fully on site now, we'll slap them when I see them, and they can go, yeah, it's just what, you know, the people go, you're doing nothing. Probably that I am not hard or anything, but on some of them people that started jumping on that thing, I will slap them when I see them. It's not going to be, aren't you that knobhead off Twitter? Or, what are you saying now? No pushing and shoving or anything. I'm just going to walk over to them and smack them in the head. I will be too busy chilling in Jeddah, mate, to be scrapping you Macums. What do you mean? Oh, yeah, Jeddah. That's where Rob's going to move. Rob's going to move out there. He's going to become like a Saudi propaganda podcaster for Macam TV, just out in Saudi, just going round in a Newcastle shirt, just filming all the delights of Saudi. Have you got a proper Macam accent? Geordie accent, Rob? Are you from Newcastle? Yeah, you actually live in Newcastle. That always find Glassdoor. They'll be always fine with Glassdoor though, because tickets are so hard. If one person gets one, we'll have no one to go with. Because but if you get in, you get 4 tickets. So you can always, if you get in, you can guarantee to buy 4 tickets, but you can't just buy 4 tickets and sell them. You have to put people's names on it and that. So you'd always be guaranteed to have at least a group of 4. Do you know what I mean? But do you know what he said there? Yeah, is kind of what I've always felt about with Bolton games and Liverpool games. It used to upset me that I'd go to Liverpool games, but I couldn't get all my mates sorted at Liverpool games. So you would always be missing people. when you support these teams like Bolton and that, mate, you can go. Anyone can get about. I know it's getting harder now, but back in the past, mate, if you wanted to go to a Bolton game, you went to a Bolton game. Like you could get a ticket without having a season ticket or anything like that. I'm trying to get a Liverpool away ticket without all kind of credits and everything. Bolton, you just get them, or people will be able to get them. Yeah, beheadings didn't happen there, mate. Yeah, nothing. Rob's just a Saudi propagandist, just shining it in a negative light, going to all the little hot spots and that. While they smoke shisha and that, and just filming all the good things in Newcastle top. I remember watching you in Periscope, lad, being about it. I followed you for years. Yes, come for life. DM me on Twitter and tell me it's you. Periscope was a day. Listen, who else? People, do you know what I mean? But I get questions. I get this thing that where people go, oh, you must tell me this right now. People on Twitter say, have this thing in their head where I must be loud on Twitter and quiet off Twitter. Tell me another person who turned up at a random Periscope's head, at Periscope person's house, fully sober on his own. Tell me one other person who just drove to a fucking a stranger's house because people was on Periscope at the time and bounced in on his own. No one else did. I fucking did. What a funny, sick that. And if I didn't have that in me, I wouldn't have met Tommy A Stars before I always knew he existed. Fucking Tommy A Stars. They were the fucking days, mate. I'll never forget. So obviously you could watch it. I couldn't see it at the time because I just had my phone in my pocket, but I could watch it back. When I remember, like about an hour later, after being there chatting with them all and whatever, I started the thing back, like went back to the point on the Periscope where I walk in and it showed. I used to show all the comments as well, and everyone's like, I cannot believe he's turned up. He's there. Should we get the picture up? You can find it dead easy because I always love Joe Wayne. Always usually asks a question, and I love it because he tweeted like just Josh Woog's Periscope and his thing, so it's dead easy to find it. Oh, look, what is this? It's the best thing ever, isn't it? Oh, fucking hell! I remember when I got to the thing, so he said, like, don't knock on the door, come to the back gate. Obviously, he had parents of that. So, because he was that, the guy's head was that chalky that his mum and dad had a bit of money because where they lived was a nice area and they built him his own little, they must have accepted. Listen, he was a sound guy, but they must have accepted years ago they're never getting this kid out of the house yet. He's never going to hold down like a proper job or anything like that and move out the house yet. It wasn't anything wrong, but you're these sort of people. So they built him an outhouse in the garden so they could kind of move him out, but not properly move him out. And he was like, so knocked on the gate. And I remember when I was like waiting at the gate, thinking, wow, this is a very mad thing to do, you know, just meet these Periscope people. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, there's another one as well. Oh, yeah, I think like I knew that. Josh Ruggs has genuinely took Periscope to a new level, turned up at some random gaff. Look at the gaff. It was a bird and a gay guy. And was he gay or did he just wear drag? No, he was gay. I think he was gay. And he wore drag. That was his I remember saying, oh, what? Because I had work the next day. I was like, yeah, I'm in work the next day. Like, what are you up to? And the girl didn't work, but she had a little kid. And the guy was like, oh yeah, but I actually work for myself. I've got a job, I've got a few booked. I think he had like 2 or 3 gigs booked in the future. But it's like, yeah, I'm not in work tomorrow because he just does like drag, goes and performs as a drag figure in London. I'm not reading that because I like Josh. And Rob, do you know what? Which one is Rob on Twitter? Because I feel like maybe I like Josh more than you. Me and Josh have been boys on Twitter for a long time, Rob. So unless I'm not quite sure how long we've been boys, are you gay if you wear drag? I've just said I don't know if he was gay, but I think he was gay when I think about it. I do think he was gay. But he definitely wore drag as well. But that I think you're definitely confused if you're wearing drag, surely. But isn't that, what's he called now? The one who does all the marathons and wears drag. And it's weird because he's like, is he 2 people? Are we supposed to pretend he's 2 people? Or how does it work with him? Because then he got a completely different name as well. See, people are telling me in the chat now, what's he called now? What's the man side of him called and what's the girl side of him called? Or is he still called the same thing? You're 100% gay if you wear drag. No, but don't some straight people do it as like a job, like drag strippers and stuff? I don't know, maybe. Well, I'm not gay. I just put the point score against Newcastle. What, people help me out here. What's that guy called who runs marathon? Is he Eddie Izzard? Eddie Izzard? That's it. Eddie Izzard. Is him as is his? Oh, is he a full girl now? Also known as, I've never called him Susie Izzard. Or her? Is she a full woman now? Is it? Has he gone full woman now? Eddie Izzard's not a drag queen. Is he, lad? He's just a transvestite. What's the difference between a transvestite and a drag queen? No, I know what a tranny is. He's not a tranny. He's called Eddie. Would he not give himself another name? Is he a transsexual? Has he had all his bits done in that? No, because I've seen him as a man. I've seen him. Well, he's been a woman. I've seen him on shows like let's maybe not Never Mind the Buzzcocks, but shows like Never Mind the Buzzcocks. I've seen Eddie Izzard there definitely as a man, talking as a man, not with lippy on that, on heels and that, dressed as a man, talking as a man. 8 pints. No way. I'm not even messing. I'm sure he does it or something. Let me find out. Who does Eddie Izzard support football? Oh no, he's a Crystal Palace fan. Transgender when they get the full operation. Transvestite is so he's a transvestite. Paddy goes to uni, do you know what I mean? He's the smart one. Transvestite is just a cross-dresser. Transgender is when they get the full operation. So he's a transvestite. So he's just a cross-dresser. He tucks it in between. Right, okay. Do you remember back in the Facebook days, and then with randomly like someone who you had on Facebook would turn into a transvestite and would just start dressing in girls' clothes? You'd be like, whoa, where did this come from? Oh, but I feel like there's a few transvestite in Bolton because it's such like a mad place, Bolton. You definitely get them up there. Right, have we answered all the questions? I'm going to leave Smidge's till next week because I can't be out really getting into that. Smidge asks questions that are a bit like, but sometimes that's what you want because he because I speak to him. Although, guess what? Did I say this last time I did it? Smidge's half fucked this live chat off because he says he's not into him as much when I'm stoned. He's honest with me. Said he's not that into him as much when I'm stoned. But I promise you, we'd won a trophy today. And do you know what it is? Even though it's late, it's 10 o'clock, man. The next 2 hours now make me want to have a joint and do it stoned. But then sometimes maybe I could do them not stoned and then have a joint after the live chat. But I will do sometimes. Would you rather, Paddy, mate, this is something I live with all the time. I would probably rather him go to bed early because I don't sleep that well anyway. I don't really have been a good one this year. As Rob, this has been a good live chat. It has really been a good live chat. I don't really sleep that well anyway, and I don't really sleep in. Plus, I start work at 6 every day. I'm up at 5 every day, so my body clock, a good line for me is 7. He slept into it. Can you believe this? Jonathan, should we end it on a nice story? Right, so kind of a nice story. Last night, he had quite a bad night, so he woke up at midnight, and I heard him, and I thought, come on, Meg, go and get him. Like, do you know what I mean? I got him the other night, and then Meg went and got him. And but then we have a thing like if you go and get him and he's not settling, then and the other one can go and help you out, they'll go and get a bottle, and we both do it for each other. So I heard that he weren't settling, so I went and got him a bottle from downstairs. This was at like midnight. Took the bottle up. Yeah, no, other way around. I was settling him. She went and got the bottle. Yeah, that's what happened. And then like both went back to sleep. And then he woke up at 4:30, but Meg didn't hear that. But I thought, oh, do you know what? I'll get up. So I got up with him. Settled him, put him back in bed, looked on my phone, it was like 4:20, and I thought, oh shit, the UFC. So I Googled UFC to see what the results were. I didn't realise Mexico was going to be on the same time as, I don't know why, as usually is. And it said that all the fights had been on, except it was going to be the last round I'd seen on the UFC thing of the fight before Ortega and Moreno. And I was like, oh my God, that's sick. Like I couldn't be asked waking up and watching them all, and I weren't going to set an alarm, but like I was up and I wasn't like, it would have took me a good half an hour to see. That's my thing with me with ADHD as well. When anyone else who's got it, when you get woke up, yeah, sometimes if you're super tired, you'll fall back asleep. But because your brain's just on every time, like as soon as you wake up, you're on. Like ask people who work with me or ask people who know me. Like I'm like, I reckon if I wasn't so funny, I'd be annoying. Do you know what I mean? Like because I'm just like 100 miles an hour on it all the time, and that's what you like when you wake up and your brain's too active to sleep straight away. So when I get woke up, like, where's Meg if she wakes up? Or most people, like my mum, my dad, whatever, most people I know, if they get woke up, they can just fall back asleep. I never really like that for me. So I thought I'll watch it. So I watched both fights, yeah. But they finished and I was a bit gutted because I thought they were shit. I could have definitely missed them. And then 6 o'clock, I looked at my phone, it was 6 o'clock and JJ has been up, I promise you now, he's not seen 6:30 for like 2 weeks maybe. Definitely not. And I was just thinking, please, mate, just please, anytime after 7, an hour's enough, an hour's enough. And then I didn't fall asleep straight away. I had the podcast on and I remember him talking a little bit. I had a Luani show on and then I remember him talking a bit. And then I heard noise from upstairs, heard JJ. and realised there was no podcast playing because I always put it on a little half an hour sleep thing. There was no. I didn't. What do I? Sky lad. Yeah, I don't like the meds. I don't like ADHD meds now. They like zombied them out. But I ended up thinking anyway, like getting some and everything, like properly doing it, and didn't like it at all. Hated it because of like what you said about finding out about it. I went and found out about it properly. That's awful. Hated it. I'd rather just have ADHD, but I feel like I don't get anything done. I feel like I'll never ever see anything out to the end ever in my life because of ADHD. But I would rather that than be a zombie. What was we talking about before? Yeah, and then I watched it, and then I looked at my phone. 3 minutes past 7, and I'd definitely been asleep for like at least like I don't remember the podcast going off, so I'd definitely been asleep for like 45 minutes, and it just felt dead good. And I just got up, got him out of bed, got a coffee, and that's why I've had a good day today. Liverpool win the cup. I had a good day. Got to watch UFC and have another hour's nap. It's been a great Sunday, and then tomorrow is my last day in work, and I go on fucking holiday on Tuesday. And I can't fucking wait. Me, JJ, my mate, his little lad, all this fucking bumming around in shitty things. We've got a nice villa, big fucking pool. Do you know what I mean? We're living life luxurious nowadays. Last day of work tomorrow, so I don't mind being tired. Although that flight, 5:45 in the morning. I'm going anyway. It's been good though. This has been a good live chat. Loved it. See you later, everyone. I hope you all have